Hi, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. It's time for Candid Combos. Y'all been waiting all week. I've been waiting all week to see y'all. So come on in. Michelle, what we do every week before we start and get into the content, we always invite our guests to like and share. So I'm going to do that now from my page. We are broadcasting live on the Catapult U page. So you can share it from there
Awesome.
to wherever you want. You want to share it in your personal group, you want to share it in your business group, you want to share it on your personal page. Let's see.
Let's see if I can pull this up.
And I think we have a pin post at the top, so you might have to scroll a little bit. Hey, Latrice, one of our top fans. You bought your ticket yet, girl? Tell me if you bought your ticket. And make sure y'all share. Y'all share. Thank you for sharing, Latrice. I saw you shared it. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Say what's up. If y'all are just joining us, it's your first week joining us on Candy Combos. You know that we use a different platform called StreamYard. So we are not necessarily clear on who all's watching out there. So make sure y'all say hey so we know you're there. Let me also say hey to a couple of other people who I know normally watch. Oh, you live in New Orleans. Okay, well, make sure you get your virtual ticket because it's gonna be fun. We have wonderful uh, activities for the virtual guests as well. Let me text a few more people. And we'll get started. And so y'all know we don't spend 20 minutes trying to get people in. You know, our tribe tends to kind of trickle in and out. But y'all come on in and let us know what's up. If you're watching, say hello. Turn the volume on low so we know you're out there. Your boss don't need to know your business. Put the earpods in and let's because this one is gonna be really good. And let's give it a few more minutes. A few more minutes. If you're out there, say hello. I actually realized I haven't shared it in the Catapult U group yet, so I'm gonna do that.
Okay, that's where I was looking for it.
No, 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 it's on the main page. The Catapult.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
found it.
Because I was like, I don't see it yet. So I was looking at the wrong thing. There we go.
Yes, share it. Yes, I should have told you that. I'm sorry. Y'all give us a few more minutes. Otherwise, we're gonna be just talking to Latrice. The good thing about this is we always keep it up, so people can always rewatch it. Join the Candid. We always keep it up so people can see what's going on. So let's go ahead and get it started for the ones who are already watching. And as people come in, we'll go forward. But for those of you who do not know me, my name is Candace Alynn. I am the president of Duvernay Enterprises. And Duvernay Enterprises, she said, no problem. Latrice, she is one of our top fans. I love her. So I'm the president of Duvernay Enterprises. And we are a consulting group that helps women, and we focus on work-life balance for women. So our entire mission is to make sure that we are building a tribe of women who see the importance of finding their pinnacle work-life balance for whatever they need. And what we always say is that your journey to work-life balance is a personal one, but it does not have to be a lonely one. And so what we've done is we've created a tribe of women that support each of us on our journey towards work-life balance and whatever that looks like for them. And so that's actually a perfect segue into today's topic, which is finding your people. And I wanted to have this topic because I've just seen so many people recently who have appeared to be down. They seemed very lonely and they've seemed very disjointed from society. A lot of that has to do with quarantine. A lot of that has to do with just the societal pressure that we felt financially. Some people have lost jobs or whatever, and they felt so disconnected. So last week we talked about protecting our peace, and we talked about peace between ourselves, peace within ourselves, peace with others, and peace with God. And then I was reminded that a large part of what we have to do is build our community, and the importance of building a tribe and building a unit. And before we get into that, because I know some of you all have to leave a little bit earlier, and can't stay for the whole broadcast. When we talk about building community, one thing that we at Catapult You have done is we have pushed forward with not only talking the talk, but walking the walk. So we are doing a brunch. Michelle, our guest today, is going to be our lovely speaker. And so, for those of you who don't know, I put the comment right there. I'm going to copy the comment so you can just click it. But we have a brunch coming up August 15th where we are going to come together and talk all about self care. And you will not find a tribe anywhere else like ours that will tell you it's okay to be unapologetically selfish and focused on yourself. And the reason we do that with such fervor and peace is because I truly believe that if we are able to take care of ourselves, if we are healthy, if we are mentally free, if we have strong girlfriend relationships, if we are thriving at work. Hey, Pamela, thank you for joining, lady. Make sure you share this. If you are happy in yourself, if you feel good about the way you look, you're going to be a better girlfriend, wife, mommy, employee, employer, sister, friend, church member, whatever. And so we really promote that. And I've been doing a lot of talking, but Michelle, go ahead and introduce yourself so people can know what you bring to the table in terms of the conversation about women and self-care and today's specific topic.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. You definitely are not talking too much. I think everything you said is so wonderful and on point. I think it's great for everyone to understand the value of Catapult You and the message behind wellness and self-care. As you've already mentioned, I am Olamide Michelle. I am also an attorney running a small boutique legal practice, but what I focus on really is coaching entrepreneurs to find balance in their business. And that really relates closely to self-care and the mission behind Catapult You, because a lot of times what we define as success actually ruins our self-care. It actually gets in the way of happiness and joy. And then we can never fully achieve our goals and we can never fully succeed. So even though it's important to understand, marketing tips or strategy or the legal concepts behind building your brand and protecting your business, it's also important to have outlets, to have friends, to have community, to have, ways of releasing stress or relieving stress. And I think today's topic about building community is really one of the pillars for how you can build wellness, because a lot of us get trapped in this solo show, riding by ourselves, and that can become lonely and overwhelming and actually take us away or get us off track of being successful people. So yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to discuss more and kind of share my story and discuss how we can be a resource to everybody.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. So I promised that I would share about the brunch first, just because I know sometimes people are like, well, I heard about it, but what's going on? So real quickly, I'm going to put the ticket in the comment. So if you haven't purchased your ticket yet, go ahead. And then I've had people say, I want to come, but I'm concerned about, Corona and all those things, which we understand. So here's what we've done. We have completely overhauled the event. So the space, number one, is lovely. I don't know if y'all saw on our stories or our Instagram page, but the space is spread out. We have implemented mandatory masks, and we have the cutest little Catapult You mask. I can't wait to put mine on. So we've implemented masks. We obviously have decreased our capacity. We've actually cut our capacity in half. We were going to have about, I think, 55 to 60 people. We've cut that in half. And we have also gone from a buffet style to a plated luncheon. And then our seating is going to be in line with CDC guidelines. So as far as coming into an actual live event, if you were concerned, like, who are these people, who's cooking and all that stuff, just know that we've taken steps to make sure that the live experience is a safe one and an enjoyable one. But
Yeah.
we've also added the opportunity for you to join. I know Latrice, she's in NOLA. I didn't know my sister was in Lola. We've added NOLA. We've added the hey Paige. We've added, I think Paige is in NOLA too. As a matter of fact, I know she is. We've
Yeah.
added a virtual option for you all who are in the tribe. You want to join, you want to support the vision, you want to help me meet the budget. Let me keep it real. You can purchase your virtual ticket on there as well. And we are going to make sure that that's interactive. So we have the virtual people that are going to be involved in the networking icebreakers. They're going to be involved with the team building, and they're also going to be able to hear from you virtually. Hey, AJ, that's our sis, our resident makeup artist. So if you haven't already purchased your ticket, purchase it today, y'all. Come on.
Yes.
And the purpose of it, and this is a great segue back into what we're here with Michelle is because I love that we are building a community, and we are building a tribe, and we are building it sister by sister. They say brick by brick. We're building it sister by sister. So I think somebody shared the video for Latrice a few weeks ago, and then she's been a faithful viewer ever since. Same thing with Pamela. These are ladies that I've not met before. Y'all don't get me to crying, but
Oh,
we built that community and we're building it sister by sister. And so let's talk about it, Michelle. So many people I've heard have said, I am a hey Golden Armstrong. I don't see y'all. If you're there, say hey, because we only see if you say a comment. We only know you're watching if you give a comment. But I've seen people say, I'm a loner. Or did you remember growing up? I don't hang out with girls. Girls are so mean.
yeah.
I don't do girls. I don't hang out with girls. Female, female, female. And we've heard that vitriol spit about women so many times. And can women be catty? Yes, that's true. But if you saw what I saw with some of my husband and some of his friends, men can be a little messy too, But what is the purpose, I would ask you, Michelle, for community in light of all of the opportunity to get betrayed and backstabbed? Why even step out of yourself and go from being a loner to building a community?
Okay, so first I want to say I actually am someone who identifies as overly independent, maybe even a loner. I'm guilty of, isolation. But I will say the importance of not doing that, or really, let me rephrase that. The importance of building a community is because you were not intended to be alone. You can enjoy alone time. You can recharge by yourself. You can actually be, like a child who knows how to play by themselves. They're fine without siblings. That's all fine. That's a productive person. That's good. Recognize that strength of independence, but then strengthen that even more by also being independent, but being able to enhance yourself by relying on other people. Because I think what happens is we think, oh, being a loner means you don't hang out with people. Being a loner means you don't ask for help. Being a loner means you don't go to community networking events. You don't call up friends. You can still actually have your 75% alone time and then work in the group time, the friend time, the networking time, because the value that I've received now that I have expanded my network, that I've started working with communities such as Catapult U, building out my coaching businesses and working with all these amazing, talented boss women. Now I am learning more about myself, learning more about what's actually going on in my industry, and actually having new people to vent to or talk to about creative ideas that I didn't typically know actually existed. So that's how I would say, first of all, it's like you're really missing out on how you could be enhancing your life. And it doesn't mean you can't still be independent and have your solitude, but you definitely don't want to build a life surrounded on loneliness, because that's why there are other people on the earth. That's why we were created, was to actually work together and actually create together.
Right. And what I love is, and y'all know I get churchy. Y'all knew it was coming at some point.
I
The
kind of
Bible even
preempted
says
it right
that it's not good that man should be alone, And then somebody else wrote, no man is an island. And so we're going to put woman in there, because we know that's the universal person. And I agree. And if y'all remember, if y'all have been following me for any amount of time, y'all know my testimony with Catapult U was I got this vision and this idea, and I launched 5 years ago, and then I got sick. And then when I got sick, I got diagnosed with lupus. I just put the vision down and was like, I can't do it, not realizing that there was something greater, and the greater was the community piece. And that got me recharged again. That got me excited. I see my sister Latrice said she bought her ticket, And so for me, like getting back out there and saying, okay, y'all, it may not be perfect. Some weeks you may see me and I have my bob laid. Other weeks you may see me and I have my turban on. Some weeks you may see me and I can't do the show because I just don't have the energy. And so building that community, building that safe space has really been beneficial for me. And like you said, I love how you said, not just for the financial or business benefit. Because what I've learned, and I've heard women say, well, I work a 9 to 5. I love my government job. I love this or I love that. And we connect and equate networking with something that you have to do for business.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the case. Like we can just get together and kick it. We can get together and just hang out. We can get together and just talk. And that's why I love the show. And I'm glad Latrice is not by herself, because at one point she was going to be the only viewer. We've got lots of people watching now.
Yeah, and it looks like Alicia just said that she got hers and sponsored. So thank you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. She actually was at the first. She's actually been at all the Catapult U events. Number one, she's my makeup artist, but two, she she just supports the vision. She's been at my small business boot camp and everything. So I'm happy that you're going to be there, and thank you for blessing somebody. We'll make sure that goes to a worthy person. And Sonia said that's a good point in terms of like networking is not. I'm presuming is not. She's saying good point that networking is not just about building your business.
Right.
About building your brand. You and I are sorority sisters. We were a part of some of everything on campus, but we still joined the best sorority in the land. Delta
Yes, of course.
Pamela's a soror as well. So we the community is there from our womb. We had that desire. And what I found is over the years, people get sidetracked because they get hurt, they get betrayed. People aren't supporting in the way that you want them to support. And so you find that disappointment and you go, people, like you said, I'm going to be super independent.
Yeah.
That meme, I hate group work, which I was that person. So let's talk to the ladies and whoever may be watching later on about how do you find your people according to your personality. So
right.
we've gotten over the hump of the reminder that community is important. Whatever we tell ourselves, the reality is community is important. But how do we find our community? How do we know where to look for women who are like-minded? What should we be doing? Because there's so many groups out there. I'm sure if you looked up women's group, it probably even discouraged you. Why would I even make boho business? Because there's so many people that are doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So share with the ladies, like, what are some things we could do to help find the people that we are looking for?
Yeah, so I definitely think the key is actually very synonymous to building your business or building your brand. You have to be yourself. And I know I say this all the time on my Instagram and in my trainings, and it might actually sound generic, but I'm going to take it a little bit deeper and say that you are attracting what you're putting out. They say your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you put out the right energy, and I don't mean like there is a right or wrong answer. I mean, you put out your energy, your true, authentic, genuine energy that represents your style, your personality, your do's and don'ts, your values, your beliefs. This is a G-rated show. Somebody else wants to put out an energy of a more risque show. Now right. That's them, they're doing them, and they're going to attract the right audience. And they're also going to attract the right type of friends that enhance their sense of community and their personality. So that's my first tip. But, you can definitely join groups, especially free communities, things that are online. You have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you have Instagram. You also have, the traditional forms of Meetup. And now there's Mighty Networks is another platform. And sometimes there are other organizations that are attached to even like booking sources. So if anyone owns a business, I would encourage you to look into your Honeybook or your Dubsado. Sometimes you'll see other entrepreneurs who are actually desperately looking for someone to collaborate with. They don't even have to be in your city or state, because you'll start to find that when you're putting yourself out there, when you're trying to make new friends, when you're trying to sell a product or service, you're going to start to find that there are people who are going to be cheering you on, as we have right now in New Orleans. There are people who you've never met who saw something you shared and they're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love the message. I love what you're teaching. How do I get involved? And they live in New York City and we're in Atlanta. You don't even know them. You know,
Right.
constantly talking to strangers. If you saw my post, I said, oh, I just reach out to people. Sometimes I reach out to people who are full-blown celebrities and they'll actually talk back to me. Sometimes I'll ask for like business advice from someone that's out of my league and they'll help me, you know,
Right.
but I wouldn't have known if I didn't just ask, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, my first tip is be yourself and just reach out. If you join a free group and you're like, this kind of feels a little generic, this isn't really aligned with what I'm looking for, then you leave, you know, give yourself permission to just seek out the community, pick and choose what fits with you, and don't feel bad if it's not, you know, your vibe.
And one thing that you said that I love is, and we've been tapping into this in the team, is being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because when you reach out to somebody who's a celebrity, whether they're B list or C list or A list, and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing," you have to reckon that they may not even respond.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, when I put out a call in the group, hey Golden, when I put out, and I think Golden shared, so thank you for sharing. If you haven't shared already, y'all go ahead and share. Y'all know this is my baby, and you know I'm building it up. But that goes into being vulnerable, right? So if nobody knows that you're trying to meet a budget, right? Or nobody knows, hey, look, I'm building this Facebook group, but it's not just for me to post curated content. It's for all of us to engage, share. You know, if nobody knows that you are out there doing this or that, how can they be there for you? You
Right.
know, if you haven't reached out and said, hey, I'm having a rough one, and if y'all are in my group, y'all know I'll be like, y'all look, it's only Tuesday. I need y'all to pray for me, you know, because I tell everybody I got 5 or 6 jobs, you know, and we have to make sure. And Sonia, one of my good friends, my ADP, she said that's the hardest part, being vulnerable. And I think it is for all of us women. And if y'all know, we talk all the time about shedding the cape, you know, the cape of Superwoman, because if I'm Superwoman, and here's the thing, the stuff that was our claim to fame back in the day, like, oh, you know, Candace is in everything, or you know, Michelle is she rocking and rolling, or you know, sis is the woman of the year. Then when we can't do it, we think that something's wrong with us.
Yes. It's crazy. I mean, you really hit it right on the nail. It's because it's like, or nail on the head. I'm like, I can never get the phrases right. You can blame it on having, you blame it on having African parents. They don't say it the way Americans say it. So,
Right.
but I was actually just thinking about that. It's like I break down maybe to like, you know, your parents, your partners, but then you're not telling anybody else, right? You want to keep
Right.
that presentation of perfection, which is just like, you know, it's stealing your joy. And, you know, we're the ones putting that pressure on ourselves. Like when you said, you know, you want to keep the cape on, you feel like you're failing or there's something's wrong with you because you can't keep juggling all 100 tasks. Like how ridiculous is that that's what we've been conditioned to believe is normal, right? Like
Right.
we're already Superwoman and we're like, no, we got to save more planets. You know, it's
Right.
like,
We have to be Captain Marvel now.
yeah,
Y'all know
yeah,
I'm a Marvel nerd. We can't be Wonder Woman. We got to be Captain Marvel. Okay, fire and everything, you know. And I love what you said about things that we've told ourselves, because you see the reason we're doing Catapult You is what I said out loud is something that the women that are watching, I'm sure everybody agrees with.
of course.
And that goes back to the importance of the community, because we can feel, if we get in our heads and we're quarantined and we're at the house and boss is saying, get me this you know, presentation by this time, and then homegirl is saying, girl, I need you, and then boo if you got one, and if you don't got a boo, you on Tinder trying to find one. All of this stuff is going on, and you feel like you're the only one going through it.
Right.
You feel like you're the only one that is trying to juggle it all. And what was so freeing for me was when I relaunched Catapult You, all of women that I look up to were like, girl, we needed this. Sis,
Right.
we needed this. Thank you, girl. Keep it real. And I always, whenever I make a post in our closed Facebook group, I say, this is a no judgment zone. You know, like, what do you need from us? We got you. And like Paige said, people respond more to imperfection than perfection. And I think
Exactly.
that's because nobody's perfect.
Right.
So people may give you a kudos and say, oh, girl, you are the bomb. But people really vibe with you when they feel like you are like them, that they feel like you are on their level in terms of you're going through what I go through. Michelle is a branding coach. She's actually my branding coach. And one thing she shared with me was being my authentic self, which was very freeing because as a lawyer,
Yeah.
you feel like you have to be all buttoned up all the time. But y'all see, I got my little purple. Have y'all seen the streaks?
Yes, I love your signature cut. I love it. And that's you doing you. And to Paige's point that people respond better to imperfection, that just shows you that imperfection is actually more real, right? So if you say
Exactly.
nobody's perfect, that's freeing because now you're like, oh, I can actually succeed by being me. Like, what a strange concept. Yet it's like, that's really the secret.
And one thing that we're going to talk about is if you are authentically yourself, your people may change. Your
Yes.
tribe
Yes.
may change. So talk a little bit about that. I know we talked about it before we got online, but how we may have to pivot. Sometimes we have these grand ideas, whether it's launching a new vision or wanting to have a girls' day out or whatever, and you're not getting the response from your tribe or your group or your people that you thought you would, and you get disappointed. Can you talk a little bit about pivoting from that disappointment, that disappointment?
Yeah, yeah. So I think this touches on a few different points. And I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is recognizing that whoever's watching, you don't have to be an entrepreneur for this to actually be relevant to you. I want everyone to kind of think about this as if you started off in high school, you have your friends, you're going through a certain phase of life. Now, let's say you want to start eating healthy, you want to start working out, and everyone around you doesn't care about that. Now, let's say you want to start a business. Maybe you want to get promoted at your job, but people aren't really focused on working hard and networking and improving their resume or LinkedIn. And it just starts to get really awkward because you're the only one talking about it. So one, it doesn't mean you have to ditch those friends, right? It doesn't mean they're not your friends, but you have to remind yourself that there are different people for different purposes. Just like people can be your girlfriend for the gym. There can be the friend that you vent to about relationship stuff because y'all really love having those kind of lifestyle heart-to-heart conversations. And then you have your business besties where you go, what do you think about this business idea? Can you help me edit this? Because I don't want to put something out there with, typos and spelling errors and all that kind of stuff. And y'all really support each other because you understand that you're in the same place. You're going to the same place, so you want to help each other get there. And I think we try to take people who don't want to go to the same destination with us. So
wait, say that again.
We
try to take people, they ain't on the journey with you. They don't want to go to that destination. We want to take them with us. That's so true.
It's like going on a road trip and you're really excited to go check out the Grand Canyon. And somebody else is like, I want to go to the rainforest. And now you're over here like, well, how are we going to make this work? These are completely different places. They're not bad places. They're just different places. And you prefer one thing, they prefer another. You have to find people that are aligned with you. And you can have those other people for different purposes. So, I hope that makes sense because it's just like, I've also had to recognize that I put myself out there now more than ever when you're trying to run a business. And then you throw in the fact that you're running multiple businesses in a digital age, right? So that means we have to do more lives. We need to connect with people. We're also in quarantine, so we have to have conversations virtually. So that makes you really vulnerable. I think sometimes people forget that women like us who are talking on this platform doesn't mean we don't get nervous. It doesn't mean we weren't trying to be cute for y'all and like get our lipstick right. Ask Candace. I was like, let me go fix my lipstick before the show up. We care what people think, just like any.
Yes.
So if you don't have a friend that understands your vulnerability, the position you're in, the stresses that come just naturally, it's going to get difficult. And then you thought you liked being isolated, but then now you really feel isolated because you have wrong people with you can actually be more isolating than being alone. So kind of like
talk about it. And here's my thing. I'm like everybody's homegirl for real. You've known me for years.
Yes.
I have friends that have been born and raised in the church, and those are authentic friendships. I have friends that are struggling with their relationship with Christ. That's an authentic friendship. But I realized that there are some people I share certain things with, some people I don't. And I love, like Latrice said, doing away with the concept of no new friends. Like that was something that was trendy. But guess what? Latrice bought a ticket. I have a lot of friends that I've known for about 15 years that have not bought a ticket yet. Now, will they buy a ticket? Maybe. You know?
Yeah, and we can playfully call them out. You hear that culture
Right.
too, like call them out, cancel them, all this kind of stuff. No new
Yeah.
friends. But the reality of that statement, I hope everybody can see that we need to twist that to a more positive sense that you can call them out, but you can't actually be hurt. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
don't take it personally because that's not where their priority is. They
Right.
don't see your value because they're not going to that place once again. So
Right.
you wasting all your energy is actually going to deplete your joy and deplete your opportunity of building the correct tribe because you're over here forcing the wrong people to be your community. So let
Yeah.
them, let them do them. If they don't buy a ticket, they don't buy a ticket. You know that you're doing something awesome and you keep pushing forward by building the awesomeness because new people are going to discover you and you'll reach your goals. And then you can still call that girlfriend up later to like talk about your child or something, a different topic, you know?
Yes, and I had to learn that. So for y'all who don't know, I got married pretty young, and so a lot of my friends weren't married, had my kids pretty young. And so when I first launched Catapult U, there were people like AJ who bought a ticket, there who didn't have any of the same stuff that I had going on, but just bought it to support me. There were other people that I thought were gonna buy a ticket, but they didn't. And I'll be honest, I ain't gonna lie and say it didn't hurt my feelings. I felt so bad because I was like, where's my best friend, not my best friend. My best friend was there and she ain't had nothing going on, but she was there. But
Yeah.
people you just thought, you teach us, write down your list of people that you know you are going to buy a ticket. And I wrote a list, and about half of that list bought tickets. And I was upset, and I was like, I've supported people all these years. And one thing my mom told me was, you're talking about work-life balance, but these are people that don't have anything to balance yet. Right? They don't have, I'm for real. Like, they didn't have jobs yet. Like, you got to realize, I started my law firm literally a week after passing the bar. These women, and I'm not talking about just being single, I'm talking about had nothing to balance. And even AJ, she said, I loved it, sis, but you need to stop talking about married folk because single folks need balance too. And so if she sees this, we started rebranding and building that in so for more women to relate. But I had to learn, like, I cannot vilify people who can't relate to it, because at the end of the day,
Right.
it's still their coins. And although I'm the friend, and I know Latrice said this last week, we sometimes expect what we would do for others for
Of
them to do.
course.
So for me, I have bought all kind of stuff. I went to Alicia's makeup class years ago. Never did makeup. Had no intention. I was literally going to support a friend. I don't think I had maybe any makeup in my bag, right? But that's my personality. I'm the kind of person that if you selling Kool-Aid, I don't think I won't buy, because y'all know I'm Pentecostal. I don't buy liquor. But if you selling anything else, I will purchase it. I have purchased this shirt right here. I think it's cute. My sis, she made this shirt. I purchased it. And I'm the kind of person that I will do that, but everybody else doesn't do that.
Right.
And so I'm going back to the point, which is finding that tribe and building it woman by woman. I
Right.
don't have to sell out an event by begging my friends to purchase a ticket. I have
Right.
to go find the women in my area who are needing what I need and let them share. And so this is a great segue. If you haven't already, share this video with some of your friends about building the tribe. And if you haven't bought a ticket yet, buy a ticket. I try to be supportive, sis. Thank you, AJ. But I think the point that Michelle is making, that people can support you without necessarily putting the cash behind it. And we can't take it personally if they don't put the cash behind it. We got to keep finding those people that are trying to build our group. So what are some ways that you talk about meetups, building your group? What are some other ways we can do to find our people?
Yeah.
Just, putting out a feeler. Hey, I'm looking for some new friends. Like,
Yeah.
what are some ways we can do?
So first I want to say it looks like Golden was asking for a link to this page.
Facebook. I got
Okay.
you, girl.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, please ask in, so we can direct them in our conversation. But to answer your question or kind of respond to some of the good stuff you were just saying, I think also not only should we not take their financial or lack of financial support personally, but also they don't have to support you at all. Like, I know
Right.
that sounds harsh, but they may not like the post and they may not, come to the event, and they may not really even be paying attention because your business isn't really even interesting to them or relevant. Or if you don't have a business and you're just dealing with marital stuff or being a mother, they may not support, because like that's not even something of value to them, or maybe that's not the type of friend they are. They're going to support you in a different way, and maybe you're just speaking different, friend languages, tribe languages, love languages. So I mean, just something to keep in mind, that go get the support from someone who can actually give it to you, and don't wait for the support from somebody who can't, because they might be going through something. They could be having their own breakdown, their own overwhelm, and now you're wanting them to show up to be your, what's champion or cheerleader. I was like, what's the word? Cheerleader. And they're like, I'm going through something. I need a cheerleader. So sometimes that can also get in the way. But to answer your point about how you can actually find people, I would say going back to starting those conversations, because we have a very oversaturated world of lots of clubs and groups and communities. So you might not know which one to pick just based on the title and the little description in the page.
Right.
But if you see someone online, and I use the word famous before, I don't literally mean famous, just like big people with big platforms. Yeah, an influence, maybe you don't think they're going to respond. You never know. Even if they seem busy, just reach out. I definitely think, I'm somebody who I will talk to anybody. If a lot of law students reach out to me, like, what do you think about this? Can you help give me some inspiration or guidance? I like that, because being supportive to someone else actually makes me feel more fulfilled. And then I believe in the karma of now I'm attracting more people to support me. So the more I'm being supportive, the more people want to return the favor. So I would say start there, like make it a habit. I talk a lot about habit building, and sometimes we think about making our bed and exercising as a habit, but why not in your week make it more of a routine? Like, I'm going to check in with some friends every Friday. I'm going to, reach out to a new community leader on LinkedIn every Monday morning when I'm doing like my emails. I'm just going to find someone that looks like a good thought leader, a good entrepreneur, a good, community leader, and see if I can join their community, see if I can learn more about events, see if we can network, get a coffee, things like that.
And I love that. And actually, that's what I've been incorporating. Obviously, we have the Facebook group. Thank you, Golden, for joining the group. But that's what I've been trying to do with Catapult You. But I've also been doing it by just something as simple as following, positive people. We talked a little bit last week about chasing peace, and I had to purge my social media.
Oh, yes.
Because there are some people that, like you said, that season in college, it was fun to have the girl that was going off of her boyfriend. Because we love the drama. Let's be real. Like, oh girl, did you see what so and so said about so and so? Oh girl, did you see what the Delta said about the AKAs, and the vice versa? But as we're older, and we only have so much room in our mind for stuff that we got to deal with, you got to purge out the negativity and follow people. I just watched the live the other day from my homegirl's church. I've never been in that church before, but I just started following it, and that helped me. So taking the time to kind of go outside of what you would normally be in that the 4 or 5 people that you're used to watching, going there has made the world of difference. So I think that's absolutely great. So we've talked about a lot of different things. I know we were talking kind of fast because, that's just me. I get excited when we talk about building community and building a tribe. Is there anybody out there that has any questions or has any more comments for me or Michelle? I want to open it up. If you have anything to say about it. I don't think I see any questions. One thing I'll just say is that when we talk about being vulnerable and when we talk about building community, sometimes you got to kind of start with a place that you know is going to be a safe space, right?
Yeah.
And so if you don't have anywhere else to go, but you know that you need a community, come on. It's like the altar call. Come on and join Catapult You, okay? And I give you the assurance, number one, because I'm the administrator, but number two, we've just been able to draw women that are positive. Like in that group, we are definitely building the community, and we are definitely pushing forward with creating a safe space for women. But before I give you that link, Alicia asked a great question.
Yeah.
How do you get over that awkward phase of trying to make new friends? That's a great question. So now we realize, okay, I need new friends. I have some good people in my corner, but I need to find something else. What are some things we can do if we are like sociable, but we don't want to seem lame or, it's just awkward. Like, I know you said you're a bold person. Hey, I'm in your DMs.
No, but I actually, so let me say to that point, I get very nervous. I feel uncomfortable doing a lot of these things that I advise people to do. But there's a quote about success is getting comfortable with being very uncomfortable. So the tough love response is you do it anyway. You know that you really want to stay home, but you get dressed and you go to the networking event. Now, instead of standing there looking at all the people who you feel are intimidating you, who you've convinced yourself don't want to talk to you, who you've lied to yourself to feel like, oh, if I walk over to them, I'll be lame. Those are false statements. Those are false beliefs. And that narrative is what is keeping you in that awkward phase. But the moment you just decide, you know what the heck? I'm just going to go walk over here and start talking to these women and just say, hey, what's going on? I like you could give a compliment. You could just ask them a random question. How long have you guys been in this organization? And just let the conversation go. The next time you do it, it's going to be a little less awkward. And then the third time, it's going to feel really natural. So I think really just talking to people. If you all want to practice with me, you guys can DM me. I will set up a call. We can chit chat and see how we can, connect. I'm fine with that. And other people are too. I know Candace is very receptive to things like that. So start with the people who are inviting you, and then it will build that confidence. It will build the comfort.
One thing I also do is I love what Latrice said about kindred spirits attracting each other.
Yeah.
But I also will usually go with a friend. I'm not even being funny. Like, girl, we got to go to this thing. I hear Olamide Michelle's going to be there, or I'm going to. When I went to Alicia's makeup class, not only had I never done makeup, I didn't know a single person there. But I was like, I'm going to support, I'm going to get there, and that's going to be that. And so I think kind of just like, it's almost like that first day of school jitters.
Yeah.
But we did it because we had to. And I think that's the difference. Like, you had to go to school, you had to get up and go to, the interview for a job. Like, it's almost like with anything else. And I hate to make it feel formulaic. And I think that what Latrice said is right. You can't force the friendship because the kindred spirits will attract each other. But I remember being so lonely in college. I don't know if my best friend Stephanie is watching. And I remember being lonely to the point where I was crying. Like, UGA, as big as that school was, talking about being around a lot of people but feeling alone. I remember being in my dorm room crying and calling my mom and saying, I had no friends. Now, mind you, my roommate went to high school with me. That's a whole nother thing. But I don't have any friends. But my mom said, well, you have to just go back to kindergarten. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you remember when you just walked up to somebody and said, hey, how you doing? Yeah. And you didn't know if they were going to say, and I will never forget that the very next day I was in the dining hall, saw Stephanie sitting by herself. I said, oh, look at that little black girl. She looks like she's nice. She's not going to blow up on me or go crazy. And I said, hey, how you doing? She was like, I'm fine. I said, can I sit here? And I remember being so nervous, and I wouldn't ask her out on a date, but for some reason, like you said, we tell ourselves there's going to be, drama. We tell ourselves that we're going to have a rejection. And I think that's just the enemy trying to keep us isolated.
Right.
But I passed it, sat down with her. She is literally my best friend. That same day we went to the bookstore, went shopping. She was in my wedding. I was in her wedding. And so it went from there, and so that you're right, Sonya, that was some great mom advice. Write it down for when your baby tell you, girl, because
that's the cutest story. And it's so true. I literally think that a lot of us have to treat ourselves like children, in order to like regrow or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it sounds silly, but it works. I mean, it's really the only way. You just do it, even though it's weird, and then it's not weird anymore.
Right. And let me say this. You may find somebody that looks at you stink.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is one thing I have to tell people. I'm a real friend. Because when I give advice, like my homegirl, should I ask him if he's cheating? Sure. Be ready for him to say yes.
Right.
He may say, no, girl, you crazy. But if he says, yes, her name is Tamika and I'm going to see her tonight, you have to be ready for that response, right? So let's not sell that everybody you reach out to, childlike faith, absolutely. But let's not pretend that everybody you reach out to is be that person. But I will say this, what we've created has been a tribe where, yes, you want somebody to be like, what's up? Come to catapult you.
Yes.
I promise you, we have about 300 something ladies in that group. And let me say this, and we'll close. One thing that we didn't hit on is that you can network despite your ambivert, extrovert, introvert personality. You
Right.
know, one thing that I do, I usually take a friend with me. Believe it or not, I'm actually an outgoing introvert. So I'm energized by having my own time at home, but I go out and I meet people. I get with people. I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I scope the room. "Hey, what's up?" I go from there. And what we've done in our group is we've created little pockets of the tribe for whatever you need. So for those of you who like to read, we created a book club. you know we're about to roll out a fitness group. Like, we are trying to find different opportunities, whatever your personality is, whatever your friend language is, to find somebody in your tribe. But yes, like Sonya and Alicia said, it starts with that childlike faith. And like I said, I'm a witness. My best friend to this day, I walked up to her and I remember it. Look, I feel it now. I remember being so nervous that she was gonna be like, "Nah, I'm good. I got somebody coming." And she said that. "No, I don't want to sit with you." And I would have went on and figured it out. But we've got to be, like we said earlier, have a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of especially if you know that you're missing something, right? If you know that your girlfriend's group is not working right now, you owe it to yourself to find one that is. Or let's say, like you said, it's not a bad thing. They're good for the text messages about Wendy Williams. That's okay. That's not a I know that sounds like shade, but it's not. I promise it's not shade. There are women that you're going to have that you're going to be able to buy your book, Alicia. You got to read the book, girl. We started the book club. So um, there are going to be women that are there for that. There are women that you're going to go shopping with. And let me say that that's not a bad thing. That doesn't make that a superficial.
Right.
It serves you in that purpose. But if you need a tribe of women that's going to be building you up for whatever you got going on in terms of trying to have it all, because I believe you can have it all. People have said you can't. I believe you can, and having it all may look different for different people.
Exactly. I love that. That's really like a good way to put it, because it's like your all is not my all. So we
Absolutely.
can always have it all. We just can't all have the same thing. So
Exactly. We can't have the same thing, but we can all have it all, because I truly believe that if I have a desire to have a business and be a bomb wife and put on a little outfit for my husband, y'all know we rated G, but if I have a desire to have all those things and be at the PTA meeting and do these things, there's a reason to have a desire to do it, and there's going to be some kind of resource there for me to be able to do it. I really believe it. So we're learning this together. We're going on this journey together. For those of you who did not get a chance at the beginning of the show to buy your ticket, there's the link right there. We already talked about the safety protocols. Like I said, we have mandatory face masks. I don't know if I mentioned temperature checks earlier. We're doing temperature checks. We are no longer doing buffet. We're doing plated. Of course, it's still all you can eat, but we're doing plated brunch. We have plenty of giveaways, lots of networking. Help us build this tribe together, y'all. Let's get offline. Let's get in the room together. Let's love on each other from a distance, because just feeling each other's energy is going to be amazing. If you don't feel comfortable, you can still go and support the vision by buying a brunch virtual ticket. We do have virtual giveaways. We have the same kind of, we're making it so it's not going to be like a disjointed event. So the virtual attendees will participate in the icebreakers and the team building activities. We're going to be building y'all up and moving on and kind of negotiating. Not, girl, that's my lawyer talk, but grouping and
yeah,
coupling everybody in their small rooms to make sure that we're processing and moving the room together and making sure that we're networking together. And the activities that we have already planned are perfect for any personality. So it ain't like, "Hello, my name is Candace, da 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 da." That terrifies you. Don't worry about it. Okay. Buy your ticket. If for some reason you just can't make it, you have something going on that day, you can't do virtual or come in, you can still sponsor a lady. Okay. We want to sell out the in person event. We've got a budget to meet. Y'all know what that means. These things are not free. So we have a budget to meet. So please make sure that you buy your tickets. And I can't wait to see you all. And before we leave, Michelle, I always want people to know how they can contact you. So how can people who want to learn more about what you're doing, the community you're building, what can they do to connect with you?
Yeah, thank you so much. First, I'm excited for the brunch, and I love that you've created so many opportunities for people, one, to participate, but also to support your main mission of supporting others. So the sponsorship idea is a beautiful thing. And thank you for those of you who have already done that. Make sure you guys are encouraging others to join you in your efforts. And if you're interested in connecting with me, please send an email to hello@OMI You can go to my website, which is omibrand.com. That's like my umbrella page that you'll be able to find more about essentially everything I do and, share with others. And if you're a social media person on Instagram, check me out at the Boho Business Guide. And there you'll get, little gems like this. I love to create community, but also educate. So a lot of business tools, a lot of free resources. And I'll actually be going live, shameless plug, tonight on Instagram. So if you're
Okay, what
interested,
time?
5:30.
Okay.
Sips and tips. It can be a mocktail. I will be actually talking with a therapist. So if you're interested in hearing another conversation going in a different direction about female empowerment, tune in and hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Love it, love it, love it. So I'm thankful for you all. Thank you so much. I've shared the ticket, I think, and I want to also share the book that we're reading for the book club. Our book club, you still have a month to read the book.
Okay.
So Alicia, you ain't bought it yet, but you have some time. This is the book we're reading, Think, Learn, Succeed. Michelle, I know you've been probably following us in the group. We've been talking a lot about mindset and how we have to kind of recalibrate our mindset. And this book talks about the science behind it. We have a reading schedule, ladies, if you want to just kind of keep up with it. But once again, this is a no judgment zone. So if you decide you just want to show up to the book club meeting, you're absolutely fine to do that. But in the meantime, go ahead and purchase your book, read it, read the Cliff's Notes or whatever, and we'll go from there. I am Candace Alynn, for those who do not know me. I'm so excited that y'all are going to be joining us. I'm really believing that we are going to sell it out. I'm really believing that lives are going to be changed. One of my homegirls put it, and it almost made me cry, like coming to one of our events years ago changed her life. She started a business. She was able to remember some of the stuff she's learned. And so that's why we're back. So we can continue to build community, continue to build the tribe. And so I thank you all. If you have any follow-up questions, Michelle, sit tight so we can debrief if you don't mind. But the rest of you all, we'll see y'all soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.